Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for coming tonight. Thought we'd get started a little bit early. Tonight, there's going to be a little bit of a difference because some people are wondering how I make scrubbies. And tonight,
Is that Sarah Love? There it goes.
I have another camera up here that what we're going to do is I take this around my finger and I make a knot. The next thing I'm going to do is you see that peg there? I'm going to put it on that peg. We are going to be switching from the camera that's in front of me to this camera that's up here. You guys are going to get to watch me make a scrubby. So I'm now going in and I'm changing my camera settings. So you guys are going to be able to see me.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool. Right here. So I'm going to figure out where I need to have this thing. So you guys
come towards you.
How's that?
The camera comes towards you more.
Okay, let me bring this here.
There you go.
Okay. You see how I got
there you go, right there.
Right there. See how I've got this behind that peg? I'm going to wrap it behind and in front and then back and forth like this, like you're doing a weave pull. Everybody's wondering, how does she do this? Well, tonight you're going to get to be able to watch. Now just keep weaving this in and out. I try to keep it a little bit loose. Now, there is one thing about these looms. You have to have, because of the way you weave this around, even numbers. You cannot have a loom that has uneven numbers to be able to do this. Now I'm going to start wrapping. Thank you everyone for coming. So finally, we figured out a way that you guys are going to be able to watch me do this. And I wrap around every single peg. I know you guys can't see me, but hey, you guys want to see how I do these. So you're going to get to watch me tonight. I just keep wrapping around. Isn't this the coolest thing? You just keep wrapping. Now you don't want to make these too tight. Now, what ends up happening is I take my thumb and I put it here and I tighten that right there. Now, do you see that there's no yarn in front of here? But there is here. So what you end up doing is you pull this one over every other one. And what that's going to do with making these scrubbies is giving you a way of pulling it where it closes up. That's why you do that weave. Oh, I am shaking. This is a little bit different, because I'm usually having this closer to my body, but hey, I want you guys to be able to see how this is done. And then I push it down. Hi, Jane Doe. Everybody is going to get to finally see me make a scrubby. So then I take this one off. I leave this one on until the second row is done. And then it gets taken off. There is a total of 14 rows to making a scrubby. Hi, handcrafted by Jackie. Hi, Judy Herman and Wanda Hendry. Trying to see who else is in here. Oh, Heather, Heaven's Fire. So now we figured out a way you guys can watch me make this. I know I'm shaking because this is not the way I usually hold these things, but I'm going to learn how to do this. This is kind of the same way that when I make the double knitted hats. I do that same looping back and forth to making those. Come on. Haven't worked on making scrubbies in a while. I don't know if you guys can see this, but do you see there's a little line here that I'm able to get up underneath? I am so happy we finally figured this out, Nancy.
Oh, I know. I'm just letting you talk. Everybody's probably wondering, why is she go so quiet?
Yeah, well, it's... See what happens? See, sometimes I don't catch both of them, so I look back through there to make sure that I've gotten both. Because this one is definitely going to be like scrubby type yarn. Now I can take this one off and I just pull it down and I untie it. There we go. Are you guys able to see this good? Just let me know. What tool am I using? It's called a hook. And this is a knitting, it's called a round knitting loom. I'm making a scrubby. And this is a hook that comes with it that pulls that bottom yarn over. Usually I hold on to it because sometimes I misplace things, and you can see over here, here's my scissors, my little scissors, and my needle, because I will need that later. Wow, this is so neat to watch this. Once we see Ann Dale come in, I got something in the mail today. So this is working out beautifully. I mean, it's like everybody wanted to see how these are done. Right, Nancy?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. We can leave you there. I think it's good enough that we don't need to go to the larger one.
Oh, so you can always make you big and me small.
Yeah, but people need to see you too.
Now I have a sock loom, a square sock loom that I have started one with Red Heart yarn, and then I actually have sock yarn. So that's part of my projects this year.
Hi the bud files. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Hi, Sue.
So is Sue the bud files?
Yes.
I did not know that. So yes, we are making a scrubby. And I have to do 14 rows to making the scrubby. You know, doing this at the beginning of this, I could even cut this out, Nancy, and be able to put this as a tutorial video, couldn't I?
Yes, you can.
Let's see here. There we go. Just
yeah, because you could go back to the YouTube editor thing and do things.
There's my yes.
I have a few stories. Well, one I've made a video about. The other one I haven't, but yeah, last night Rebecca and I had talked. We said goodnight early. I went and did devotions with Anastasia. Do that little routine. Talked to my son and daughter-in-law and everything. I had no longer. I had looked at my phone and we were under a tornado watch from 9:10 to 9:10 to 1 a.m. That was yesterday. As soon as come down here, sit down, start watching a video. Within less than 5 minutes. I'm like, that's not what I'm hearing. I said, the one over here by us is not. Like, I turned and I yelled upstairs. Tornado sirens were going off.
Hi,
We were
Susan.
at,
Susan Gotchi came in.
hi, Susan and Lori prepping for heaven.
Lori prepping
So
for.
we were in the basement for 40 minutes yesterday. Listen to, storm come through and everything. It's like, oh my goodness. So my advice is when those go off, get to your safe space.
Susan, I am making a scrubby. The reason why you don't see me up there because I'm using this camera so you guys can see how I make the scrubbies. I figured, I can't have both cameras up because I don't have the expanded StreamYard. So that's why you're not seeing me up there, but you guys can still hear me. But yes, I'm making a one of those scrubbies. At the beginning, I showed how it's put on the loom, and now I'm just going through all of the how to make these.
And so we had an exciting night last night. We had the winds. The winds were really bad. On the way to the lab place, there was a tree down. It wasn't on the main roads, but we saw one of the trees down that got blown over last night. And then hail. We had penny-sized hail. So I'm like, oh goodness. So starting tomorrow, and now we're under a flood watch from tomorrow till Sunday because we're just going to be done it with rain, and the storms tomorrow are just as bad. So everybody who will be in those storm areas, whoever it is tonight, y'all be careful. And when they hear those sirens, go to your safe place.
Oh, I've seen something.
What's
sometimes I have a scrubby type yarn that did not get over here. So I have to, there we go.
Alrighty.
That's one of the reasons when you see that, and I'm trying to watch that to make sure that both of them have gotten over when you're using this scrubby type yarn. I do not, when I get over here, I'll show you the reason I don't take that very last peg over is so that I can undo this and take it back to get that off. And I put it on that peg right there. Oh, yes, it is. It is very addictive, but it's so nice when someone gets something that they've been waiting for, having these scrubbies to scrub their body. I, in fact, used one that I made, and I found that it took off the dry, dead skin around my ankles. I was like, wow, this thing is taking that off. I know I'm bouncing this, but so there's 24. This loom is usually, this is the one that you usually make the premature baby hats out of. Or as I do, I make the scrubbies on it. Tell you, this is something I really like what I'm doing here. I know I'm trying to pull that yarn out, and it's a little bit different because usually I have this up close to me, and if I pulled that camera a little bit towards me, then I'm going to be upside down.
Okay. So it's after 9. Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Like 15 minutes.
I'll just keep talking to everybody and showing them, pegging this over. And yes, Nancy, it is. Happy belated birthday for her. I know that's noisy, but you know, it's kind of interesting watching this. Just get this, and I'll be able to show you how I take it off. And once I get the 14 rows done. I know that's noisy probably. I hope that's not hurting your ears. Let's see how many rows I have now. What I end up doing is I count doubles. So that's 7, 6, 5. That's number 4. So this next one will be 4. Makes it a little easier for me. And so, James, are you going to bed? Oh, good evening, ladies. Good evening, James. So I'm giving you guys be able to show you how I make these. Oh, Bill. No, Alone in remote Alaska. Hi, Alone. I am so glad you're here so you can finally get to watch me make a scrubby. What I usually do is like, this is number 4. So I'll push those 4 down so that when I do the next one, I'll do a 3. Thank you for coming, Alone. Nobody's ever gotten really to be able to watch me do this. And let me see if I can do it that way. Yep. Maybe that'll work. Nope. I'm getting these a little bit too tight. See how I'm having to really pull on this? I'll show you how I loosen that up. Is I pull here and I'll go back around to getting that a little bit looser. Sometimes that happens. Nancy will be back, and I know you guys can't see me, but once I get to the point where I'm going to bring the other camera back up so you guys can watch me sew this scrubby together. Hi, Virginia. Thank you for coming. I'm making a scrubby. Someone wanted to see how this was done, and I figured this was a great way to do this. You know, just turn this other camera on. Make a scrubby for you guys. But yeah, this is called an E-wrap. Now I could probably do this differently, but I just do the E-wraps. Yeah. Oh wow. This is, oops. Get that over. See, when you get 2 yarns, you got to make sure you get both of them over. And is there any questions you guys have concerning what I'm doing here? If there's any questions, just put them in the chat. I am using cotton, and this scrubby yarn is a acrylic or polyester. So, of course, if you're using the ones with the scrubby type yarn, hi, Lynn, the okie dokie. She's one of the people that wanted to see this being made. Yeah, Lynn, what you do is you just do as they call it, it's called a knee wrap. I'm so glad you guys are all here be able to get up close and be able to watch me do this. It makes this a lot better. Because I'm doing this so differently, this makes it a little bit harder because usually I have it up close. I just wanted you to be able to see how this is made. You see how much easier that is coming across there now? Oh, it is fun. I am so happy that you're enjoying this. So like I was telling everybody, it's 14 rows to making a scrubby. The first row is you just weave behind and in front. And that's what gives you, see how that pulls, that drawstring? It pulls that closed. That's why you do it that way. And then I use that yarn to sew the scrubby together. Before I used to not do that, but I do now. Makes it a lot better, and I'm not wasting yarn. You're welcome, Susan. Everybody wanted to know how these are done, so at least now that my brother has these bars here that holds that camera instead of being up on the computer. I mean, everybody's like, okay, how does she do that? Now you know. You know what I think? I might get something. Hi, Brian. This is so nice to see you, my friend. Just showing how scrubbies are made. Oh, so your snow is turning to mud. Let's see how many rows there are now here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I just de-wrap again. I think I'm going to get something that makes this not so noisy. And I'll put something down here like a pad. I love snow. Hi, Virginia. Oh, it's so good to see my friends in here, and they're finally getting to watch me make a scrubby. So I've got 3 more rows to go on. So that's 3. Yes, definitely go check out the Vineyard Farmhouse. Concerning those longer knitted hats that I now make, um, it's done the same way that I do it on the 48 or the 42 peg loom. And you basically do behind and in front. Hi, Judy Herman. Oh, yes, I could use the mouse pad over here. I do have one. There we go. Thanks, Judy, because that was like really noisy. I could get a bigger mouse pad and put that here, and this is so interesting. So this will be number 13, if I'm thinking correctly. I think I'm going to find a large mouse pad to put across here. So it's not like I really need to use the mouse right now because you guys are watching me make this. That definitely sounds a lot better. Now let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. Hi, Brandon. You guys are getting watch me make a little scrubby. This is the last row. Then I will show you how I take it off. The reason I put that on there is so that it doesn't unravel. I'll make sure, yes. Hi, Ed. Thank you for coming in. This will stop Homestead. Now, I know people have watched me take the hats off, but concerning the scrubbies, I do cut the yarn off. I'll show you how I do that. I unpeg it from here. I'm going to bring it up through here, and I'm going to wrap this around. Nope, don't do it that way. Okay. And I cut it off right there. Now to put this back in there. Now what I end up doing is I peg it over on this one and do this, and then I pull it through. So that's how you end up taking this off, is you just go ahead and pull that out, and you come to the next one. So this is called just looming it off. This is where it gives that drawstring look. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to switch back to the other camera so you guys can see what I do next. That'll take a little bit of time. This is so different, doing this, but everybody now knows how to do this. And where Nancy had to go do something, she'll be back. Now this is almost off, and there's the last one. Set this thing over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this, make that hole smaller, lay that across the hole. Then I'm going to pull this up through the middle. And then make that tighter there. Then I'm going to do the same thing to this side, where you just pull this. Thank you so much, Brandon. And basically what you do is you just kind of work this, pull that tight, you pull that tight. Then I tie this here and I pull it like that. Let's see here. There we go. And another tie. Now I'm going to go in here and switch to the other camera now. There I am. Okay, move this out of the way. There we go. So now what I do, let's see here. There, got it. That thing keeps moving. Okay, there. What I do now is I find out which one is longer. This one is. And I'm going to thread. Yes, I'm here finally. I'm going to thread this needle. It's a yarn needle with this yarn. Hi, Lori. Everything seems to be changed. I'm so used to looking up there, but my camera's now down here. And what you end up doing is where that hole is, you're going to bring your yarn through there. And where you have the webbing section on this, So that gets pulled there. And where the webbing section is on this, I'll show you here. Where that lower section is, you are going to poke your needle through there and bring it to the other side. So you'll see the needle back there. So you're sewing across the knit stitch and you're just pulling that yarn around. You're taking it down through where the web section is, and you just keep pulling it around until you come back to that part where you started. And you just sew it down. And then I'll use the other yarn to do the one closer in here. I'll do the same way. And that's how you basically make it where it's a lot flatter. Okay. So what I usually do is I go under to the next side. I go down and then over to the next side. Okay, let's make sure. Yep. There's that. So basically you're just sewing it down. Then I do that. Now I do have other needles, but I just use the same one. Come on, come through. That's good. Okay, there's that one. See how that made that puffy in that intersection, you know, close to here? Thank you, Lori. So what you end up doing is I will now bring that other one into the middle and sew that middle section down. The intersection. Hi, Robert. Thank you for coming. I'm making a scrubby, and right now I'm sewing it. So it just kind of finishes it off. Come on. Sometimes it gets because of that scrubby type yarn, it makes it a little bit harder to pull that through. Thank you, Susan. I know everybody says it says Susan. Hi, Lily Bird. Thank you for coming. I made one of my scrubbies. And then what I end up doing is those two yarns that I have here is I will tie that together. And then I will feed that yarn through to the inside. Yes, definitely. My mods, please share out people's links since I haven't figured out why Nightbot ain't working. Thank you for coming, Lilybird. So basically what I do is I just kind of feed this through here. Now I'll do the other one the other way. Now let's see here. See what I do is I just pull that in there. Yeah, not a problem alone. At least then I just kind of pull that up a little bit and I snip it off. Now that scrubby is finished. You see what it does is it just makes it a little bit flatter and you're able to scrub with it. But that's how the scrubbies are made. Kind of really enjoy making this and thought I'd give you guys a little sneak peek how I make them. But I know Ann Dale isn't here yet, but I got a box from her today because I think I won something on her live. Wow, 19 people in here. Wow, that is amazing. Thanks, Jane Doe. Now I'll figure out what I don't know when. Yes, Herb and Bucket, definitely. Now, I do have, I could start on the next one. I'd rather wait till I got some purple. Phones can be expensive. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. I picked up, there's, put that stuff away. I'll be able to, let's bring that phone back over here. I think I'm going to start on making a hat. So you guys, how I make those. Come on, stay there. Trying to get it to not move, but it's moving on me. Okay, let's see here. Go to settings. Good. I ended up getting some, this is a 3-ply. You see how small that is? It's a 3-ply yarn. And okay, there's that. This is done the kind of the same way. Let's see here. See how I can figure out how to do this so you guys can see. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lay it down and see if that works. So when I'm making the hats that are with the drawstring, is I'll do it the same way, where you weave this in and out, like I did the scrubbies. Now this one's going to take me a little while, and in fact, I'm going to start this hat, and then when we have our next live on Nancy's channel, I'm going to finish the hat. What do you think about that, Nancy?
I think that's a great idea.
so basically because I'm making one of those knitted hats that is pulled to the inside where you can change it both ways. So this is the same way, and you do 100 rows of this. So that's going to take me a little bit of a time to do this, and I will not finish this until next Monday when we're on Nancy's Live. And now we just e-wrap.
Hey, the Vineyard Farmhouse. I was doing devotions with Anastasia. That's why I was here, then allowed to come back. Hey, James.
This is a little bit different, trying to figure out how to end up doing this, but this is basically how you do those hats that will be where you can change it either way.
Lori, sorry for the oops. That's okay.
Oh, that's working. Just trying to figure out the best angle to let you guys see this. But it's very interesting how this hat will be. Like I said, there is 100 rows that are put on that hat.
Oh, wow.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going back to settings, camera, and back to me. You guys have already...
Rebecca's learning technology.
So basically this ends up doing the same thing that I did on the scrubby. If you want... What happened, Nancy? Did you freeze again? I don't know how to take the name thing off. I think Nancy just froze up.
We're back.
You're back. Okay. She's been having issues with her internet. But what this ends up doing is it gives you that drawstring so that you can basically... As by Vineyard Farmhouse. No, I did not. I'll go back. Rebecca, what is something you would like to learn in knitting and crocheting haven't done? I would really love to learn how to crochet a granny square. But it requires a lot of counting, and it would be really nice to learn how to do that and not be so afraid of the counting that you have to do, because the not the thermal stitch, but the seashell stitch is kind of along that same line of that you're doing multiples in it. It is definitely, and Susan's asking on the scrubbies. Basically, whenever I buy the scrubby yarn that's cotton, it's not as abrasive as the polyester and things like that. I've got some in here that I can show you the difference between one that is polyester and the other ones that are cotton. And you'll be able to see a difference of it. So this one right here, let me turn on that other camera real quick, and I think you'll be able to see this better. Okay. See this? This is a cotton scrubby. Let me bring this over here. Bring my thing over. This is a cotton scrubby yarn. And this is one that is the polyester. Now, I'm pretty sure you can see the difference between those. This is not as scrubby as what this is going to be with those. This is definitely going to be a lot more scrubbier than what this cotton yarn is. When I got this from Hirschner's, I was kind of hoping that it'd be about the same as this, but it's not. You know, and yes, this could still be scrubby. This kind can, but it's not as much. There we go. So that's why I switched to the polyester on using that. Thank you for asking those questions. It just makes it a little more scrubby. So people say when they scrub their dishes with this, it just makes it so much nicer. Oops, come back here, mouse. Now that got tangled in my yarn. Okay. That ain't good.
And Lori, y'all be careful. And it says get in your safety spot. Just get there. We were in the basement for 40 minutes last night.
Come back over here. I'll be back.
Yeah.
This thing got all tangled up. I had a whole bunch of things up there that I had to click on and get it off. There we go. Okay, now move this thing over. But with doing the hats that way, you know, this kind of hat, it makes it, because this is different yarns that are in this, that is on one skein. So there'll be a pattern of color that people will be able to change what their hat looks like.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know? Thank you all for coming tonight. And
yeah, y'all be careful. There's be storms starting. Well, there's still storms now. That's down Texas and everything. And tomorrow.
hi, Teresa Jukowitz.
Hi, Teresa.
So good to see you.
I like that name. Nice name.
Thank you so much, Lily Bird, for coming tonight. This was her first time here.
Awesome.
I think it's absolutely great, you know. In fact, if I'm able to get my turn signal lens tomorrow, if it's nice weather outside, I'm going to be going live and showing you guys. There was something that was on YouTube, and I'm going to debunk it or find out that it's true. They ended up showing on a short that someone had, taking a lemon, cutting it in half, and putting baking soda on it and scrubbing your plastic headlights. I'm going to find out if it works. So we're going to see if it works, because my headlights are pretty gritty. They're pretty faded. So I'm going to see if I can save some money, buy a lemons, and I'm going to see if this is going to work. Thank you, Em, for coming.
I think it'd be pretty cool to find out if it works or not.
I think so too. I'm going to debunk a myth, but that's what my feeling on this is I want to find out if it will work instead of buying those chemicals that you have to use a drill and all that other stuff. You have to put some kind of coating on it. Don't work for us. We bought new ones. But I'm going to try. I'm just going to try and see what I can do. Hi, Brandon. Thank you for coming. I am doing great tonight. If you want to watch the first part of this, I made a scrubby tonight so everybody could see how this is done. I am so happy. Don't have much time. I just wanted to stop in. Thank you so much. But this is the scrubby that I made tonight on this live. And hi, Beth and Neil. Maybe Neil's with her there. But this is the scrubby that I made on this live at the beginning of it, showing how they're made. And now I'm going to make a kind of like a double knitted hat. And this one will be finished on Nancy's live next Monday at 8 o'clock. We've changed it back, going at 8 o'clock instead of 8:30. I was going to go at 7. I thought, no, let's just do 8 o'clock. And, so next week, the channel will be on Our Treasured Home, and I will be up there with her. Finishing this hat will probably be mostly finished. It will probably be pretty much finished because I've got a week to do it, and it doesn't take me that long. My live 15 p.m.
Yes.
This is so great. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. I really love you all. And Ed, Brandon, I wanted to let you know something. I am going to be at Tin Killer. You will finally get to meet me. I definitely want to get a hug. I've known them for a long time. It's going to be great. Got to have some work done on the car. We did find some other problems with it. And I spent a lot of that money. That is, I spent we bought CV axles for it. We needed to. And we also had to buy a whole exhaust system because some things happened. I'm going to have stainless steel under there, so it's not going to rust. I will have that car until a long time. It cost over $300 for them, that exhaust, but I'm not going to have to worry about it. Yeah, I'm wondering if Brandon is going to come to Mid-America. That would be great if he does, but he's going to be at Tin Killer. I do know that because
Awesome.
Johnny did that. Well, yeah, I did not buy a new car. I could not afford a new car. I had to buy a 98 Toyota Avalon. And I knew there was going to be some work, but this one I was able to drive away from where it was. And it is a great car. It's wear and tear. So yes, we're replacing some things on it. I love you guys. we're going to say goodnight. And we will see you over on Nancy's channel, Our Treasured Home, at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.